Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dreams of owning a home or investing in one. Well, I was watching the Real Estate Insider, which is a YouTube channel I'm familiar with, and they posed the question as to why is it that the house that Justin Bieber was living in Beverly Hills, why is it that it wasn't selling? So I started to do some digging, and as I was doing my digging, I found that it actually did sell. It took over a year though. So I began to do a little bit more digging, a little bit more research. I found that there was conflicting reports. There were some people that said Justin Bieber owned this particular property in Beverly Hills. As some of you may know, Justin Bieber actually owns more than one property in California. He also has other properties in the United States as well as in Canada. But nevertheless, there was another report that said he rented the house and then owned it. And then there was another report that said he just rented it and that he never owned it. He just lived there. Okay, so I said, well, let me see if I can verify anything. I have an app that does like quick and dirty title searches. It does not list Justin as being the owner of this home. It does list some LLCs, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go any further to see if he owned any of the LLCs. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Let me just go ahead and just answer the question as to why it took just about a year, over a year actually, to sell this home. Because to be honest with you, most homes only take about 2-3 months. All right. So let's delve into this and let's answer the question. Now, me personally, when I looked at the house, I actually liked it. It has a futuristic theme. It's made out of glass mostly. It gave me that Jetson appeal. The Jetsons was for those of you who are younger, that was a cartoon back in the day that spoke about what our future lives would look like. And to me, that's what that house was giving me, right? But I understand not everybody has the same taste that I do, okay? So this particular house, it has 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a 6-car garage, an infinity pool, bar, elevator, theater, wine cellar. There were some oak cabinets. It actually came with furniture in it, and the views were spectacular. All right. So again, one would probably think to themselves, Beverly Hills is a pretty decent location, if not one of the best locations in the United States. And with all of these wonderful amenities, why did it take over a year to sell? So I'm going to just give you my opinion. I've been to Beverly Hills, though I don't own any property there. I wish. But when I was there, I noticed that where the celebrities lived, there was always a line, literally a line of paparazzi parked in cars, like just waiting for them to come out their home. So being that it's a glass house, there's not really that much privacy. Yes, you can put curtains up in various places, but still, putting up curtains, of course, is going to block the view. Next, even though I like the home, I personally, honestly, even if I had the money, I wouldn't buy that particular home. It's a home that I probably would rent, but it's definitely not a home that I would live in permanently or own it. And the reason is because it looks like an office building. I already work in an office building, so when I go home, I want to go to a home that looks like in my mind, what a home is supposed to look like. And I believe that that's how many Americans, a lot of people feel, right? Because listen, everybody that lives in Beverly Hills is not a celebrity. Some of them are well-to-do corporate, you would say, partners of like law firms and or even doctors' offices and things like that. Those are the type of people who live in Beverly Hills next door to the celebrity. Okay. Next, again, going back to the eccentricity of it. Everybody is not into architecture like that. So it's not appealing. Some reports even said that, oh, it looks like a stack of records. Others said that it looked like a salad spinner. So as you can see, everyone is not going to be in love with this particular property. So these are some of the reasons why I think it won't sell. And then the other reason that I really wanted to talk about, and I have to admit that it's not necessarily my strong suit, because even though I have contractors in my family and I know a few, I'm not one, right? But I know that California has earthquakes. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a friend the other day who lives out in LA, and while we were on the phone, she felt a tremor. So I'm thinking to myself, if I'm in a glass house, that's probably not the best place to be when there's an earthquake. So I did look it up, and I know for a fact that when it comes to earthquakes and when it comes to actually most horrific storms that are experienced, concrete and steel is the best. Those are the best building materials to use. Yes, your windows are going to be glass, but for so much of that house to be glass, like all the walls and the ceilings and everything else like that, ooh, that's a bit much. That's a bit much, especially particularly in that particular state. All right. And then let's not forget, mind you, there is a high price tag for it. One report said that it was obtained for $8.5 million, yet it sold for less than $8 million. I know also that from other people who have dealt with luxury markets, particularly realtors, a lot of times it actually does take longer. It may not necessarily take over a year, but it does take longer to sell a luxury property than a regular property. Your gain is higher, but you have to wait a lot longer. You have to put in a little bit more work than if you were to, let's say, sell, one of the homes that I had, particularly the one that I had in Georgia. That only took 2 months for me to find a buyer, and then we closed the next month. So you can say 3 months in total before I got my money. Okay? So, and the reason is because people who make that amount of money, they're very particular as far as what it is that they want. And if a house does not have every little thing on their checklist, and not only does it have to be on their checklist, it has to be in a particular way. And so because of this, that's another reason why I believe it took a lot longer. And when it takes longer to sell, a lot of people like to brag and boast, and I kind of feel like Justin is that way. The reason why is because he has as a matter of fact, he has another property in Beverly Hills, so it's kind of like, well, why are you also here? But he's, he has the right to do whatever it is that he wants to do with his money. But to be fair, listen, when you're trying to sell a property, there are holding costs. You have to pay taxes in the interim. You have to pay insurance. You have to pay utility. You have to pay Wi-Fi. And when it's big like that, you got to pay maintenance. So the costs do add up. Not only that, I'm also noticing for myself, I have a furnished apartment that I rent out, right? So I had set it up just for travel nursing, and now I've expanded it to insurance companies, insurance placement companies, like people who, if they get burnt out of their property or if their property gets flooded and they need a place to stay, instead of staying in a hotel, they can stay in that particular place. But I noticed that turnover is higher, rent is higher, but turnover is higher. And just trying to find someone, let's say, who just wants to, if I had decided to switch it to someone who wants to be there a year or so, it takes a lot longer. An empty apartment rents faster than a furnished apartment. So it is possible also that some of the furnishings turn people away, turn people off, and that they weren't necessarily blown away by it. So there, sometimes it's actually better to sell it empty than to sell it furnished. That's just my own personal experience. Now, on the other side of things, we have to also address something else. Justin Bieber has not had the best reputation in Beverly Hills when it comes to renting homes and being a homeowner. He has rented other homes in the past, mainly to throw lavish parties, and these parties sometimes have damaged some of these homes. So the other thing too, he himself has been caught with egging other people's homes. Yes, throwing eggs at other people's property and messing it up. So word on the street is that several Beverly Hills homeowners and Beverly Hills landlords have said, do not rent your home to Justin Bieber. He will destroy your property. He's loud, has these lavish parties. He drives crazy. He's disrespectful. We don't want him in the neighborhood. Now, mind you, there is no HOA over there or where that particular property is. There's no HOA, right? And also what I found is that in one article, the one that said he rented it before buying it, and even the other one that said he was just renting it, the rent for that particular property was actually only $60,000. Justin was paying $100,000. Because it shows me that they really didn't want him there from the get-go. You understand? So being that Justin has this horrible reputation when it comes to property, maybe many of the people said, oh, he's living there, I'm probably going to have to do a whole lot of renovation. God only knows what he broke, and then it's a glass house on top of that. Oh my God. You understand me? So all of these reasons play into a part. I feel, it's my opinion, my professional opinion, that might be, these may be the reasons why Justin's, either his property or the property he was living in, that may be why it hasn't rented, and guys, it's really sticky because, see, I'm not sure if Justin is still that way, even though he has that bad reputation. He's married now, he's older now. I'm hoping that he's more mature now as well, but you got to really be careful how you move and the steps you take and how you treat people. And burning certain bridges. Certain bridges may need to be burned, but then there are others that you may have wished that you never burnt before, right? So just be cautious how you act and how you move, because there are paper trails on just about every single one of us that can affect not only our careers, but also how we live or how we want to live. Okay, so let his life story, let this whole thing be a lesson to all of us. All right, so guys, that's all I have. Hopefully the information that I shared will help you make smart financial moves. Feel free to pass this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.